Majuba. We pay homage, it's the Ilajuba. We seek the great spirit's approval, manifesting the ancestral maneuver. As the Orishas move you, my child, let me speak to your spirit. You warriors calling a little louder, I want you to hear it. Just face it, don't fear it. Your mirror reflection, revere it. Shadow work, you will clear it. Just the seasons will change. You are called to rise. Open your eyes, realize, rearrange. It's not a game, press past through your pain. We are not mediocre nor mundane. You are great now, claim your new name. Break free from the chains. I just want you to see through and see true. See yourself as older than my race sees you. The God in you, manifest your breakthrough. Standing tall, seeing life from a bird's eye view. While manifesting your Odu. Yeah. We keep it trill, real life and reveal. It's all in me, my destiny. I will find, follow, fulfill my destiny. Majuba, we pay homage, it's the Ilajuba. We seek the great spirit's approval, manifesting the ancestral maneuver. As the Orishas move you. Just the Ilajuba.
Abora boy, this is Oluwa Fakolade of Idin Kai Ifa Temple. We want to welcome you all to our Ile Juba Ifa Temple service. Once again, it is February, so happy Black History Month. Once again, I want to begin with prayer. Before I begin, I want you to like and share. So let us begin with prayers for this morning. All right? Mojuba to all of our ancestors. Mojuba to my ancestors. Mojuba Miss Mother dear Lucille Daniels Grant. Mojuba Dar Mojuba Basement. Mojuba Mojuba Pepper Daniels Walkers. Mojuba Dalit. Mojuba Zion. Mojuba Nago. Mojuba Pepper Home. Mojuba Pepper Walkers. Mojuba Jenita. Mojuba Katie Valley. Mojuba Oscar Valley. Mojuba James Away. Mojuba Pedino Chino. Wangville no Block. Dennis Agusti Valley. Mojuba Bobo Egu. Delice Olo Domare. Ancestors, we ask that you will come and support us today. Ashe, we ask that you will ward off all death, sickness, cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses, outright fights, ward off witchcraft and negative energy from us. Help us to be better today. We call on the Holy Odu, Ikameji. Oh. There is a high wind blowing from this side. There is a serious storm brewing from the other side. The heaven is in great turbulence. None knows where the rain will fall. Even in, everyone is rushing helter-skelter. Rainfall cannot start from the other side for one to suddenly shift to this side. These were the declarations of Ifa to Akapuopwe when evangelizing for Ifa the world over. Ifa, don't you see my hands? I had been suffering everywhere. For you, I do not eat until I reach the home of Olu. Ifa, don't you see my hands? Here are my palms, Ifa. I did not drink until I reach Okera. Ifa, don't you see my hands? I have been suffering everywhere because of you. Here are my palms, Ifa. I neither eat nor did I drink until I reached Okegiti, the home of Agbaniregun Ifa. Ifa, don't you see my hands? Here are my palms. I had been suffering everywhere because of you. Ifa, I have been told by a reliable source that you put peace and harmony into my life. Ifa, I had been reliably informed that you ensured peaceful death for Owa Oga, who is also known as Owa Gidi Ibedu, offspring of those who greet each other with Okay Ye. He who fights and strikes the base of the sword against the ground. Ifa, please ensure peaceful end for me too. On the day of my passing, ensure that good children are available to ride on horses after my departure. Ifa, please support us. Ward off all death, ward off all sickness, ward off cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses in our life. Ifa, I ask that you would support all of our family members at this time. I ask that you would remove any negativity, any negative people in the chat, any negative energy that I might harbor. My ego, move my ego out of the way so that we can hear words of Ifa. Ema kami mene ama, ema kami mene ano, ema kami mene adeloku. Itamole tori Ifa loni mi, ibora ti nfani mi, ene banami, awon ati Ifa lelejo. Ashe o, ashe o, ashe. Ifa, we ask that you would continue to ward off our death, ward off our sickness, ward off cases and controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses, outright fights, witchcraft, and negative energy from all of us at this time. Bring forth to us long life, wealth, good spouse, good children, longevity, prosperity, victory over adversity, peace of mind, joy, healing, success, and seven-figure income. I share. Oh shit, Arola. Tiny of the fetal tube the stripe of a chameleon is not big enough to use this headgear. Had it been enough to use this headgear, I would have taken it from under on my head with it. Music five decorations to Arola. We're going on spiritual mission to Jeveran. We call up the same time money. Call us out to make a rich. Call on Oshe Arola, to get a woo. Oshe Tua, I kick in Bagisa. The actual travel against the tree. Cassie 5 4. Room when you see the banner, share from under the mark. If an hour touch you should be wealthy, surely be wealthy. I kick in Pakistan, and the mouth was like the banner share, and the mouth of an hour. If no church have joy, sure have joy. I kick in Pakistan, and the mouth was like the banner share, and the mouth of an hour. If an hour touch you have healing and peace, you should surely have healing and peace. I kick in Pakistan, and the mouth was like the banner share, and the mouth of an hour. Maybe so, surely shall it be. Àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi o, àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo tí mo bá màmá wí o, ìrúmọlẹ̀ ó bà. Ifá ó bá o, àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi. Pé mo dúró tí mo ṣúré, bí mo ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí mo ṣúré, bí mo kúnlẹ̀ tí mo ṣúré, bí mo jókòó tí mo ṣúré. Ìrètí mo sùn orí ti bọ́. Orí ẹni làrúrẹ̀ ìyẹn ni ọ̀. Orí ẹni làrúrẹ̀ ìyẹn ni. Ojú lómi ò fa wá mọ́rí. Orí ẹni làrúrẹ̀ ìyẹn ni. Àjò. Òbòrò ṣáàzú. Ifá ò bá lọ́rùn. Àdìbàtà àjú. Ifá ò bá lọ́rùn. Oshe Aru Ila Ifá ti bọ́. All of the Maya and the divinities, we ask that you would ward off all death, ward off all sickness, ward off all cases, controversy, ward off fight, litigation, losses in our fights, ward off witchcraft and negative energies from us, info to us in life. Give us wealth, give us good spouses, good children, peace of mind, joy, healing, success, and all the good things of life. Help us to find, follow, and fulfill our destiny. Aboru, Aboye, Aboshishe, Ubuto, Asheo. Good to see everyone today. Thank you so much for joining us once again. This is Oluo Fakola Dev Idin Kaifa Temple. I would like for everyone, please, to like and share. This will be a very important Ifa sermon. So I want us to like and share it with others who you know will get the message and feel it. So in keeping with our discussion from last week on the continual topic of African spirituality, Ifa, and our history, I want to begin by saying that you are not an accident of history. You are a decision of destiny. Last week, we established something very powerful. And that powerful thing is that our ancestors were not waiting to be saved. Our ancestors were persevering, they were strategizing, they were encoding. So here's the next level. If they persevered, who did they persevere for? They persevered for you. Let's analyze an Odu that should help us to get more understanding. This comes from Oturopon Tete. Oturopon Irete Ifa says, the squirrel carries fullness in its belly. The farmer prospers while bending down. Ifa cast for Okanibi, heir to the stool of Olofin. He was told to make sacrifice. In this story, Okanibi feared extinction. He said that he did not want his ancestral line to end. None of his spouses, none of his wives could produce a child. So this was considerable anxiety for Okanibi, who was the heir to the throne. If he could not have a child, then his lineage would end with him. This produced considerable generational anxiety. Olofin Okanibi feared his bloodline would end, so he invoked his ancestors. And after he did this, he began to wonder if it was him that was the problem of getting the pregnancy, or if it was his wives who were the problem of the pregnancy. And he went for Ifa consultation, and he was advised to offer Ebo. The strange thing is that the Aworo misinterpreted the sacrifice. The sacrifice was believed to be a human. And that human needed to be slaughtered to feed the ancestors. So, who was selected? A slave woman was selected. Her name was Oluo, and she was procured and purchased. And on her way to sure death, all she had was 6 cowries in her hand. And at a 3-way crossroads, she met 4 Babalawo, who then cast Ifa for her. And the Odu, Oturopon Irete, came. And the Babalawos told Oluo, you will give birth to a king. Now let's stop there. A woman who was marching to certain death. All she had was what she had in her pocket. She knew she was going to die. And she went for Ifa consultation haphazardly. And the Babalao told her, you are going to give birth to a king. Imagine that. Do you think Oluo actually believed what the Babalao told her? And in terms of this, I'm certain she didn't believe what the Awo said. Nevertheless, Oluo gave what she had, and all she had was 6 cowries. She had nothing to lose. Understand the tension. The palace saw her as a sacrifice. But Ifa saw her as a successor. Has anyone ever been mislabeled by the world? The world saw your faults. The world cast you out, but Olodumare saw your destiny. The world labeled you as a failure. But in Ifa, the Oduawonri Meji says, those who write one off, you know not tomorrow. Where there is life, there is hope. Oluwo was written off. A woman walking to her execution. 6 cowries in her hand, on the way to be sacrificed. And then at the crossroads, 4 Awos declared, you will give birth to a king. She was not in the palace. She was not in a position, and she had no power. She was in chains, but destiny spoke anyway. Destiny does not consult social media. Destiny doesn't consult social status. Olua was considered expendable, but she was encoded with royalty. Some of our ancestors came here in chains, like Oluo, but we are not descendants of randomness. We are descended from divine reversals. Ifa had a different story for Oluo, and the will of Olodumare unfolded differently. So when Oluo arrived at the palace, it was late in the evening. So the sacrifice had to be delayed. The palace had to make accommodations for her for the night. So one of the queens allowed her to stay in her room. Unbeknownst to her, in that day and time, when a king has more than one wife has a particular night to spend with him, the other night, and he has them on a particular schedule. And this happened to be that wife's night. Unknown to the king, that wife was in a different room. In the darkness and confusion, the king entered that room. He didn't see who it was. One thing led to another. And in the pitch black of night, the Oba unknowingly united with his destiny. In this regard, he crept into the room thinking Oluo was his wife. What was supposed to die became the womb of the new king. Mind you, these are strange circumstances that we may even want to question even more. But the key here is destiny. Let's pause everything else and look at destiny. What was meant to end became a beginning. How many times in our history have systems misinterpreted our value? How many times were we labeled labor, property, or disposable? But Oturo Ponerete teaches destiny does not collapse because others misunderstand it. It waits. Destiny reroutes. But destiny manifests. Your trauma may not be a punishment. Your trauma may be prophecy unfolding through confusion. And the one chosen for the sacrifice becomes the vessel for continuity. Everybody say, you are not random. In the chat type, you are not random. There were ancestors who poured libation and said, let our lineage not disappear. You are a walking prayer. In Otur Ponerete, death turned into dynasty. Some of us are carrying upgrades, mental upgrades, spiritual upgrades, economic upgrades. That is no coincidence. That is assignment. Olua was a slave on paper. On paper, she was disposable. She was expendable to the community, but Ifa had already spoken. When destiny is pronounced, circumstances become temporary. Sometime we might identify with our oppression more than our purpose. But all burials are not destruction. You may think they put you in the ground to bury you. You may think they put you in the dirt. You down in the muck and the mire of life. You are buried in feces of the world and thrown away. And your enemies thought they buried you. They thought they had you. They didn't know that they were planting you. They didn't know that that instance was preparation. The crossroads did not kill Oluo. The crossroads revealed to her her own destiny. Let's think about it. Prophecy happened at the crossroads. 3 crossroads. She had 3 options. That is symbolic. Eshu is in the equation. Crossroads are decision points. Oluo could have ignored the Babalawo. She had 6 calories left. 6. That was everything she had, and she gave it all. It's important to make note that Oluo offered Ebo, even though she believed she would die. That is faith beyond circumstance. That is alignment before evidence. If she had held on to those 6 measly calories, do you think destiny would have unfolded the same? How many times have we held on to 6 measly calories or 6 measly dollars because we didn't have it to give? Sometimes your promotion is waiting on your obedience at the crossroads. Not your comfort, not your certainty, but your obedience. And for Oluo, 16 years later, the child of a slave became the king. And Oluo became the mother of a king. And she then insisted on being initiated to Ifa. All right, let me give you these messages. What you call trauma right now may be capacity building, because kings are not born from comfort. Put that in the chat. Kings are not born from comfort. They are forged in flames, and in flames of difficulty. This generation needs to build. Our ancestors preserved culture. We must build infrastructure. They preserved spirituality. We must build institutions. They preserved dignity. We must build economics. Oluo did not just survive, her son became the king, and she became the first recorded woman in history to be initiated to Ifa. Because of her faith, because she had gone through something real, she was like, nah, I insist that I am initiated to Ifa, because Ifa has done too much for me. That is legacy completion. Our history is not a museum. It is a relay race. And the baton is in all of our hands. Ifa does not honor nostalgia. Ifa honors responsibility. All right, I want to give you a couple of points when we think of this story. Number one, misinterpretation kills destiny. The Oworo misinterpreted the Ebo materials, thinking it was a human sacrifice when it was not. This could have ended Oluo's life, but it also placed her in position. Next, crossroads are not confusion. They are commission. Oluo was at the crossroads, and when she was at the crossroads, she chose correctly. She chose, here, this is all I have. Take these 6 calories. She chose to offer the abode. She chose to listen to the call of those babalaos. She chose that. How many of us are at the crossroads right now? What is the decision that you will make? And lastly, destiny can be hidden inside of what looks disposable. The legacy of a kingdom was hidden inside of a woman who was thrown away. Yet she was the hope of the future. We are all walking prayers of our ancestors. You are what survival was protecting. Ancestors poured libation for us, so their line would not disappear. You are the answer. You are not random. You are not accidental. You are continuation. You come from divine reversals. What was meant to erase us preserved us. What was meant to silence us trained us. What was meant to limit us positioned us. Stop moving like you barely made it. Move like you were spoken at the crossroads. What was meant to kill you crowned you. Stop asking, what happened? What happened to us? Stop asking that. Start asking, what was spoken over us? And what was spoken over us was Muddy's prayers, Little Mother's prayers, Auntie's prayers, Pawpaw's prayers. You were not born to just survive America. You're meant to outgrow it. You are not just destined from survivors. You were spoken into continuation at the crossroads. You were preserved. You were put in position. And you were deployed. Ashe. I want all of us to think of this as a message of elevation. To elevate us from any past way of thinking. Because Ifa is very clear about your destiny. And we must find it, we must follow it, and we must fulfill it, excuse me. Aboru, Aboye, Aboshushe. So I have some announcements to make. I thank you all for joining us today. Let me see who tuned in. Aboru, Aboye to Awojola, good to see you. All right. Nico, I believe. Aboshushe, Boto. thank you all for joining us today. Um, Announcements this week. Um, we will be having a class by the end of this week. I'll make the announcements. Those of you who are interested, you can participate. Also, we'll be doing Omo Awo training this week. So if you are interested in learning more about Ifa and you are also initiated to Ifa, we're training Awos and Ifas here in McDonough. If you are interested in that training, please let me know and you can sign up. Along with that, um, if you like the things that we're doing here at Idinka, you most certainly can donate. And we thank you for that. With that said, why don't we pray our way out? Olodumare, we thank you for life, health, strength, food, clothing, and shelter. We ask that you would continue to ward off all death, ward off all sickness, ward off cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, and losses in our lives from us. Help us to live as if we were spoken into the existence at the crossroads. Help us to find, follow, and fulfill our destinies, and help us to be stronger for it this week. Aboru, Aboye, Aboshishe, Aboato, we thank you, and may Olodumare continue to bless you.